Hello, Jake Hewing here with Aircraft Sales Advisor. I'd like to welcome you to the second video report in a new series called 9 Steps to a Successful Sale or Purchase of Your Plane. In the last report, we discussed the top complaints and frustrations that I hear from clients, customers, and new contacts all the time about the industry. We also talked about the industry's reputation and why it's sad that we have that reputation, because it really doesn't have to be that way. I told you about my approach and why it's different, and probably different than what you've seen out there. We also talked about commission rates and whether or not you could expect a standard commission in the industry and the benefits and disadvantages of both using a broker and buying and selling a plane on your own. If you haven't watched the first video report in the series, I recommend you check it out first, and I'll put a link to it down below the video. In this second video report, I promised you we would go over how the industry determines the fair market value of a plane that you are looking to sell or buy, and what information you will need in order to do that. There are 4 important sources of information needed to get an accurate valuation of a plane and determine its value. So let's take a closer look. A Blue Book appraisal. You've probably heard of this one. This is like when you go to buy a car and the dealer has that blue book in his back pocket and you never get to look at it. Well, I'm going to tell you what it says and how to use that information to your advantage. An appraisal should be unique to each aircraft, with each plane-specific spec sheet information being used. We're going to cover the spec sheet, what should be on it, and how to get that information in one of the upcoming video reports in this series. The reason you'll want to have that information is because you'll end up with a more accurate appraisal than one that just uses general information like year, make, and model. This information should include all upgrades, engine times, maintenance programs, if any, and airframe times. That's another topic we're also going to cover in one of the upcoming reports. And it's going to cover the value of extras in both cost and desirability. That's 2 very different things. One is how much it costs to add a particular modification to a plane, and 2 is how popular that extra is and whether or not it holds its value. So listen to this next part very carefully. A Blue Book appraisal will still only give you a general idea of the value of a plane. What really matters is what the market is doing. And a word of caution. Don't let anyone tell you a plane is worth or is not worth any specific amount based only on a Blue Book appraisal. The numbers in an appraisal can be manipulated or simply changed to show any amount that they'd like it to show. So this should only be one part of the information used to determine an accurate value of a plane. So let's go over the different sources of information that you'll need for that accurate valuation. The monthly market report, or monthly market overview. This is a report I put together in response to a number of common questions that I regularly receive and I'm asked about the status of the overall market. So it covers several areas, including the number of planes in a fleet, how many are for sale, what the average asking prices are. It also takes a look at what the trends are showing over the last 6-month period, whether they are up or down in both total number of planes for sale and the average asking price. It also covers the average number of days for a plane to be on the market before it sells. This one is important because it helps you have an accurate expectation for the sale of your plane. This report is really designed to give you an overall look at what's happening in the particular market that you're interested in. If you'd like to take a look at one of these reports, you can send me an email with the plane that you're interested in. Now, I specialize in the King Air market, but I can get your report on a different plane if requested. There's just no way I can cover and keep up with every plane in existence and still be effective. But I do help clients and customers all the time who are, for example, maybe selling a plane and moving up into the King Air market, or selling a King Air and maybe moving into a jet. So if you have a different plane and you're interested in taking a look at the reports, just let me know. Let's take a quick look at what I call buying paths. I also cover these in the monthly market report because a buying paths are especially important when you're selling a plane. A buying path will identify who most commonly buys your particular type of plane, or more specifically, what they usually upgrade from. This is valuable information because now, rather than just mass marketing your plane, we've identified potential buyers who might actually be interested in seeing your plane and what you have to offer. But let me get back to the purpose of this particular report, which is determining the value of a plane. Listing prices. One mistake that's important to avoid is trying to determine the value of a plane based on what's currently for sale in the market. Listing prices are oftentimes just what someone hopes to get for their plane, and not what they would actually take or ever get as an asking price. And here's something you may not know. If you are selling a plane, did you know that your competition is going to be the year of your plane, 1 year above, and 1 year below? That's because of an overlap in the pricing between the years. So the planes that are, let's say, a year newer than yours, they may have some priced lower. And the years below your plane may have some that stand out with low time, nice features, and will compete with your plane maybe even for a little less. And of course, when you're buying, it's also a good idea to take a look at the years above and below your plane for the very same reasons, or the plane you're looking for. Be careful, though, with getting caught up on a year, because you might find a really good value if you expand the years of your search. Recently sold planes. This one is of extra importance. These are actual sales that have taken place, preferably within the last 6 months, and you should find at least 3 planes that are as close to the same year, same total time, and equipment as yours. These are real-world sales, and they should match up pretty closely with your other estimates. If they don't, something is off, and that's a warning sign. Now, this one can be a little higher or lower than your other estimates that are showing, and should be used to make final adjustments to the asking price of your plane, or to any offer you intend to make on a plane you'd like to buy. These reports combined will give you a complete overview of the market and allow you to determine an accurate value of a plane. Excuse me. Lastly, commissions. I told you in this report we would go over commissions and the rates and what they should and should not be, and if you could expect standard industry, but we're out of time. So a commercial for the next video report where I will go over the different ways you can bring a plane to market, the margin differences between wholesale and retail, and what that means to you, how to go about the search for your next plane, and the different types of buyers and sellers. And I'll also make sure to cover not only the commission rates, again, what they should and should not be, and I'll add to that and go over the different types of percentage-based commissions, how to choose the right one if you go that route, and how to get the most out of those arrangements. So that's the next report. Thank you so much for joining me in the second step in my newest series of reports called 9 Steps to a Successful Sale or Purchase of Your Plane. This is Jake Hewling with Aircraft Sales Advisor. I look forward to seeing you on the next one, where we will find out if I can fit all of that into one report.